And what's up?
Hi, Tom. How are you? I'm a self-employed tax preparer for like over 25 years, and one of the things I've always faced with is my clients coming in and they switch from being employees to being self-employed, and I got to tell them they're going to pay self-employment tax at 14.1% of their business net.
Yeah, let me tell you about it.
Yeah, I know, and this started with Reagan, and the law he signed on April 20th, 1983, where he raised it. I think it was 9.35% for us self-employed people at that time, up to 14.1%, and it's just really onerous on society and on in general, I think, because it really prohibits entrepreneurship. And I give a good example of, let's say a 25-year-old starts out making $40,000 a year for 40 years as an employee. He pays $122,000 for the self-employment tax of regular Social Security taxes, and if he was self-employed, he'd pay $225,000, $103,000 more in 40 years, and his retirement check is going to be exactly the same from Social Security as an employee.
Yeah, because and the rationale behind this, of course, is that that when you're self-employed, you are both the employer and the employee, so you're picking up both the employee and the employer's portion of the Social Security tax, and that's a nice rationale. But you're absolutely right; it does discourage people from doing one-man shop kind of things.
Right, and also another thing I wanted to mention, I think the NAFC is on this too, is that we should have the self-employed health insurance deduction as a line item on the Schedule C versus on page 1. Myself personally, I pay $307 a month worth of health insurance, so this would save me over $500 worth of,
Now, Jim, isn't a simple way around both of these things to simply create a sub-S corporation and then have a tax preparing service, a bank or whatever, to pay yourself out of your own corporation and to pay your income tax out of the corporation?
Well, you could. The thing is that many of my clients are in sort of not. I usually have a cutoff line. I said you got to be a $40,000 or $50,000 net at least before you think about even incorporating. Yeah. And I have a lot of people who are like $20,000 to $40,000 nets. So I just really says cost-wise, I just said, well, you got to spend $800 for franchise fees in the state of California. You got to pay me $200 or $300 to do your corporate tax returns. There's another $1,100 you got to fork out right there. Yeah. So
whereas here in Oregon, it's a $10 is the minimum corporate tax. And there are services, LegalZoom and whatnot, where you can get a corporation, a sub-S corporation, set up fairly cheap. Well, $300 is probably about average, actually.
Right.
But yeah, good point.
Do you think there's any chance we could roll this back to what it was before Reagan signed the law? 9.35 was the self-employment tax at that rate. Do you think there's anything we could do about it?
Well, the problem is that the self-employment tax at that time reflected the combination of the two FICAs. What people don't get, of the employer and employee, what people don't get is that the big change that Reagan made with the Greenspan Commission was that prior to '83. All Social Security payments that came in were current workers. All Social Security payments that went out were to retired workers and to the full third of Social Security recipients, who are literally the disabled, the widows, the orphans, the widowers, those people who just have nothing, who have fallen into that social safety net. So it's really not just a retirement program. Only about 2/3 of it is for people who are retired. But in any case, that it was from its founding until '83, it was always that the current workers are paying for the retirement of their parents' generation.
Correct.
And starting in '83 and ending presumably around 2015, 2020 at the most, but this is time limited. One generation, the boomer generation, is being double taxed, and that they're not only paying for the retirement of their parents and grandparents, but they are also putting money into what's called the Social Security Trust Fund, which was created in '83, never existed before, a savings account, so that they are paying for their own retirement as well as for the retirement of their elders. And then when they finally die off in the 2020s, then it's presumably going to go back. The Social Security Trust Fund is supposed to liquidate itself, and we're going to go back to a system where the current workers are paying for the retired workers. And the rationale for doing this was that the boomer generation was such a statistical anomaly. There were so many, people born after, so many babies born right after World War II, that it was like the rabbit going through the python, and this was the way to deal with it. And I don't think most boomers realize that they're being double taxed, and also they don't realize how disingenuous the Republicans are when they go, oh, the Social Security Trust Fund's going to go away in 2024. Well, it's supposed to. That was the whole point of it. But the problem is that because everybody went along with this. I mean, the Democrats voted for it, although many of them opposed it because it was an increase in tax on working people. But Reagan and the Republicans pushed this thing through. The self-employment tax is basically just the combination of the employee and employer portion. And frankly, if you want to knock down that tax, the way you do it is you do away with the $100,000 cap. So that Bill Gates starts paying the same percentage of his income, and not to pick on Bill Gates, but anybody who's got an income over $100,000 a year pays the same percentage of their income in as somebody who makes under $100,000 a year. And then presumably, you could use that to pay for a good Medicare for all system as well as the Social Security. Or if you just did that for Social Security, you could drop that Social Security tax rate considerably and break out the Medicare for all kind of thing, national health care program separately. But Jim, you raise an excellent point, and I thank you very much for calling and bringing it up. Back to your calls right after this. Thom Hartmann here with you, ThomHartmann.com, our website, 866-987-THOM, our telephone number, 503-796-2324, our alternate line. We'll be right back. For conservatives outside the country.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Thom Hartmann here. You've heard me talk a lot about the special men's vitamin called Beta Prostate. I keep bringing it up because every single man listening should take care of their prostate health. When you're younger, your prostate gland is about the size of a walnut, but as you grow older, it can swell up to the size of a lemon. This could mean getting up at night for bathroom trips, difficulty urinating, even sexual dysfunction. So you got to see your doctor for checkups and take Beta Prostate every day. Not too long ago, we invited the formulator of Beta Prostate, research chemist Roger Mason, on my show. He told us that prostate problems are a growing epidemic, and statistics say that 3/4 of all American men will eventually have prostate problems. And now Roger Mason will be extending his special offer, buy two, get one free. And he's even throwing in his book, The Natural Prostate Cure, for free, plus a money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-954-0803. That's 1-800-954-0803. Call now because this is an amazing value. 1-800-954-0803. That's 1-800-954-0803.
Melting polar ice was a dirty look. Shrinking glaciers, a nudge. Dying forests, they were a tap on the shoulder. We got a finger in our chest from the rising sea level, and a sharp poke in the ribs from recent wildfires in Alaska. Then dying coral reefs and eroding coastlines pushed us hard. The drowned polar bears, that was a shove. Melting permafrost, that was a slap. Rising ocean temperatures and extreme weather, an uppercut. Then record-breaking heat waves hit us right where it hurts. Has it occurred to anyone that maybe the Earth is trying to get our attention?
We can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution before it's too late. To find out how, go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Bonjour, my name is Veronique Raskin. I founded the Organic Wine Company 25 years ago. If you love wine and have not tried our French wines, you are in for a treat. Nowadays, people everywhere are buying organic fruits and vegetables because they know they taste better. Organic grapes are so luscious. When turned into wine, you can really taste the difference with every sip. So our wines are delicious and eco-friendly. So I want to make it easy for you to try them out. Call me right away at 1-888-ECO-WINE and I will send you 3 of my favorite organically grown French wines at half off the regular price. That's just $25 plus shipping. Isn't that magnifique? I think so. If you don't share my enthusiasm, I'll gladly refund your money. So take me up on my offer and call me at 1-888-ECO-WINE. ECOWINE. Au revoir.
In the bizarro world of neoconservative politics, controlling the message is important, but not as important as taking the truth out for a joyride. In fact, in the neoconservative world, the truth is irrelevant. Up becomes down, heroes become traitors, and drilling for oil becomes exploring for energy. This is The Core of Cracking the Code, the new book by Thom Hartmann. In Cracking the Code, How to Win Hearts, Change Minds, and Restore America's Original Vision, Air America radio host Thom Hartmann explains the art and science of political persuasion and how the brain processes fear and emotion, the right wing's messages of choice. Cracking the Code exposes how right-wing politicians recreate reality, spinning the truth to suit their agenda. But best of all, this book shows progressives how to tackle the propaganda head-on, how to push back against illogical logic, and how to effectively communicate the truth. Once you realize torture is now called enhanced interrogation, when the surge is indeed an escalation, and this endless occupation is being labeled a war, now you're cracking the code. Get Cracking the Code by Thom Hartmann, available at bookstores everywhere.